Okay, good morning again, everyone. This is the DV bench warrant reset case in the State Court of Fulton County, state of Georgia. Today is January the 11th of 2022. I am Judge Melanie Williams. At this calendar today, bench warrants have been issued for the defendants in very important domestic violence cases. We're here to decide whether or not the bench warrants will be set aside at this time. The first position on the calendar I have is Kelvin Gresham. Is Mr. Gresham present on the screen? Ms. Helen, do you represent Mr. Gresham?
I do, Judge.
You do. I don't see Mr. Gresham present.
I don't either.
Have you spoken with your client?
I have spoken to Mr. Gresham. I have given him the Zoom link. He did advise me he would be present during court. If I could take a minute just to call and make sure.
Yes, please do that, Ms. Helen, and we'll go to position 2 while you do that. Okay, position 2 is the case of Darius Simmons. Mr. Greco, I see that you represent Mr. Simmons. Is Mr. Simmons present today?
No, Your Honor. If I can explain Mr. Simmons's absence, he came in my office yesterday and hired me. He had an outstanding bench warrant from a felony case, which he went to turn himself in today, but he has hired me on this case, and I just confirmed that he was over at the Fulton County Jail turning himself in on a felony aggravated stalking case, which I guess arose out of this case.
Okay, so he is currently at the Fulton County Jail. Is your to your knowledge, Mr. Greco?
Yes, I called him 5 minutes before we started this proceeding, and he was over at the jail turning himself in. He couldn't do that yesterday because they had nobody to transport him from South Fulton back today to do that.
Okay, and he did not turn himself in for this case. It was an unrelated case, correct, Mr. Greco?
Yes, it's an unrelated case, but it was aggravated stalking charge based on the bond order in your particular case.
Okay, thank you.
But he has retained me, so I would ask that a warrant be recalled.
Okay, is the state who from the state is assigned to this matter? Is it you, Ms. Webb? I saw you for a moment.
Your Honor, this particular case is not my case. Mr. Gresham, position number 1 is, but if need be.
Yeah, is there someone else assigned to position 2? Mr. Simmons, are you aware, Ms. Webb?
That would be, let me double check. I can get right back to you, Your Honor.
Okay. Yeah.
Your Honor, this is Albert Hopkins from the Solicitor General's office.
Hi, Mr. Hopkins. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Are you willing to step in on this case, Mr. Hopkins, or is this assigned to someone else?
I'd be more than happy to step in, Your Honor. I just I don't believe that I'm not able to find any type of additions or anything on this. So if I could get the case number, I can go ahead and pull it.
21 CR.
1 second.
Give me a
apologize. 21 CR
00.
00.
Oh, it's 19 CR. The case that I have, Mr. Greco? We're on Simmons. Oh, I'm sorry. Simmons, 21 CR 00150.
21 CR 00.
150 1H. And I've received information from his attorney that he has currently surrendered himself to the Fulton County Jail on a separate case.
I am not showing that he is currently incarcerated. Oh, wait, I've got that he has a warrant outstanding, but it's not showing as an active jailing in Odyssey.
It would take a moment for it to reflect if he just turned himself. When did he turn himself in, Mr. Greco?
Judge, he was down there at 5 minutes till 11 when I talked to him this morning.
So I doubt Odyssey would reflect it yet, Mr. Hopkins. I'm inclined to remove the bench warrant, just hearing that he is surrendering himself on something separate. But I will listen to the state's arguments against that.
Just looking through the history here, evidence in. Looks like he had an arraignment 7/15/21 for Judge Taylor. And then a failure to appear was entered 10/19/21. Recommendation. Looks like there was a reset from the inquiry calendar 12/21/21. And I guess that brings us to today. Let me see if I've got a history in here, Your Honor. I do
Okay.
have a history. Okay, I can go ahead and discuss it. Yes, Your Honor, I believe that the current bond,
It's $2,000,
matter.
correct?
that's correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
He does have a lengthier history, and I believe that the bond that's currently in place is appropriate considering his history, as well as the bond amount appears to be $2,500, which that seems appropriate for the simple battery family violence charge. The state would stick with its recommendation.
Okay, so is it 2,500 or 2,000?
I have 2,500 surety. Let me just
Let's
look and
confirm, because I have 2,000 surety. Because what I'm inclined to do is remove the bench warrant, reinstate that $2,500 or $2,000 bond, since he's currently in custody.
I'm still seeing 2,500 even when I look at jailings.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Ms. Middlebrooks, what do you see? 2,500 or 2,000?
He's on a $2,500 bond,
Uh-huh.
but the warrant that was submitted on June the 2nd, 2000.
$2,000. Okay, so what we'll do is we're gonna reinstate the $2,500 surety bond at this time. And I will remove the bench warrant that existed for this particular case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so he will have to bond himself out on this charge as well, Mr. Greco.
Yes,
All
Your Honor.
right,
He will.
he will. So he's surrendering himself to jail, he's not to bond himself back out.
If you're removing.
And Your Honor, if the state could just request
Hold one second.
itinerant. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
one second. One second, we'll be in a 2-minute recess. I just want to clarify something. 1 second.
Certainly, Your Honor.
Okay. I got it. All right. I had to get a point of clarification. Basically, what's going to happen, since he's already surrendering himself to the jail, I'm gonna allow the bench warrant to remain in place. And what will happen is a $2,000, this charge will show back up as a $2,000 bond for him to get out, Mr. Greco. So instead of the $2,500, when it was entered into the jail as this original bench warrant, it won't be the $2,500 bond, it's gonna be a $2,000 surety bond. So he'll have $2,000 to pay, and the bench warrant will essentially remain in place for him to get out. All right? Does that make sense?
And Your Honor, the state is requesting that a stay away, no contact order also be placed there with no weapons, drugs, or alcohol. I have the victim's name, and would you like that currently?
Yes, please.
Okay, victim's name is Tiakishia. That's TIAKIESHIA. Last name Jones, common spelling. And address I have for her is 5440 Key Haven Place. That's in College Park, Georgia, 30349.
Okay. All right, I am gonna impose that stay away and the And then no further contact at this time. And he is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol. And I understand it was a little bit confusing earlier. I was confusing the 2,500 and the 2,000. Usually it's the same or double amount, not usually less. But the bench warrant will still apply, Mr. Greco, if I explained earlier, and he'll have a $2,000 bond for discharge. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
all right, I believe that will conclude Mr. Simmons' case.
Thank you,
You're
Your
free to
Honor.
go, Mr. Greco. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, bye-bye. Let's see.
And I'm gonna go back into the inky blackness of being quiet and observing.
Okay.
If y'all need me, I'll be here.
Thank you, Ms. Hawkins, for being willing to hop in there. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Helen, have you been able to reach your client?
I have, Judge. He said he's having an issue logging in, so I just wanted to see if the court could send him the link. He says when I send it to him, it's asking for a username and a login password, so.
I know nothing about how to send him that link. I can ask Mr. Jordan if he will send it to him. And we'll give him about 5 to 10 minutes.
So if he's trying to
Log
use
on.
his cell phone, he has to download the app to his cell phone. If
He told me he has the app.
So if he has the app, all he has to do is put in the ID and password that's in that Zoom link. So it's gonna ask for the ID of the chat that you're trying to join and then the password.
Okay, did you want me to send him the that information?
Well, I'll send it all to him in an email. So he
Okay,
should
thank
have
you.
his email.
Hey, Judge, we have Mr. Gresham on the line whenever you're ready.
One brief moment, Ms. Helen, and then I'll be with you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, we're ready to begin with the case of Kelvin Gresham, case 19 CR 0090978, in which Mr. Gresham is charged with 1 count of simple battery, family violence, and 1 count of battery, family violence. Ms. Webb, is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Okay, and the state's recommendation.
Your Honor, would you like me to detail the recommendation for a plea as well?
Yes.
The plea recommendation will be 12 months to serve, 90 days, family violence intervention program, a stay away from the 3200 Stone Road, Unit R5 address, no further contact with Miss Johita Burtz, I think that's spelled Johitha, Burtz, Burts, no alcohol, drugs, or weapon, and 40 hours of community service, Your Honor. We are making this recommendation based off of an incident that took place on August 22nd, 2019, where officers responded to a dispute call. Ms. Burtz informed the officers that the defendant took her cell phone, and somehow in the process of her trying to retrieve the cell phone, he twisted her arm so bad to the point that she was wailing on the phone to 911, complaining of pain. And he also scratched her across her chest. The 911 dispatcher did send out police and medical, Your Honor, and the Ms. Burtz was transported to the hospital to have those pains checked out, even though there weren't any visible injuries besides that scratch on her chest, Your Honor. And those are the reasons for the state's recommendation. The defendant's bond was currently set at $10,000 surety. The defendant does have several probation and parole violations since 2009, including violations out of Fulton County and Lilburn. He also has a past history of FTAs, Your Honor. FTA out of Cobb County for several charges in 2014. There's also a robbery conviction in 1994, Your Honor, as well as shoplifting out of East Point in 2016 and shoplifting out of Lilburn in 2017. And he also has a simple battery arrest out of Atlanta for in 2013, Your Honor.
As well, what's your recommendation regarding the bench warrant as well? Do you recommend, the state recommends that it remains?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is recommending that it remains, considering that the defendant does have those past histories of FTAs and parole violations and probation violations, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Helen.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Kelvin Grisham is 51 years old. He's here not because of new charges, Judge. He hasn't been, these aren't new charges. He has 2 FTAs, one from 2020, December 7th, for a status conference in this case, and an October 18th from last year for another court date for this case, Judge. And so we're here asking for the bench warrant to be set aside. When I spoke to Mr. Kelvin, he actually had a car accident, which had several ribs broken, had several injuries from the October 18th, 2021 date that was scheduled. So Judge, he wasn't going to be able to make that one, and was not able to inform the court of what had happened to him. And then the December 2020, Judge, when I spoke to him, he had no knowledge of that court date being scheduled. I do have a updated address of 1739 Leslie Ave, Southwest Atlanta, 30311, so that he'll be able to receive all of his court dates, any of his upcoming court dates, Judge. And right now, Judge, he doesn't have any income. He's currently on fixed disability and has been for the last 3 years. However, he does have 3 children that he takes care of, 2 boys and 1 girl, Judge. He is a lifetime resident of Fulton County in Georgia. His mother is from Southwest Atlanta. So, Judge, he will be coming to his court dates. He was not aware of the 2020 court date. I do hear the state's the failure to appear in 2014. But again, Judge, that's over 5 or 6 years ago, Judge. We really want to focus on what happened with the 2020, which he said he had no notice of, and the 2021, which he says he has documentation, medical records of the car accident on October 18th of 2021. So, Judge, we are asking for this bench warrant to be set aside so that he can appear for his court dates. He can continue to go to work and do whatever this case is asking of him, whether it be to show the court dates, pay fines, or anything else, Judge.
Is there any information regarding the return of the notice for the December 20th hearing? Does anyone have that information? And he's FTA'd twice for this particular case. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And is the notice that has his address remained the same from October the 18th through the December the 20th? Has he had any changes in address?
Judge, I'm checking right now on Odyssey, but I could also ask Mr. Kelvin, but.
Okay, I prefer you check out to see that. And Ms. Helen, I forgot to ask, you heard the state's recommendation regarding a plea at this time. what is your client's position regarding taking that plea?
Judge, we were, first step is to ask for the bond to be set aside. Mr. Grisham will not be agreeing to a plea as of today.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that point to see if that was an option.
I don't see a return service for this case, Judge.
All right, I'm not inclined to set aside his bench warrant at this time. And I was gonna ask if you want to confer with him further about the plea, Ms. Helen, at this point, because if not, my inclination is for him to surrender himself to the Fulton County Jail at this point. But
Yes, Judge, if we could have just a breakout room, or I could just speak with him on my phone just for 2 minutes, Judge.
okay, so we can do that.
Hey, Judge, we're ready on position 1 whenever you are.
All right. Okay, Ms. Helen?
And I just want to make sure I'm clear. I'm also entering a non-negotiated plea, and you'll choose between the two?
No, I was asking if he was prepared to take a plea today at all, or you
No,
said
Judge, is not.
He's not. Okay. Well, at this time, I am not gonna set aside his bench warrant. The bench warrant will issue. He has 72 hours to surrender himself to the Fulton County Jail. Is he present on the screen, or will you relay this, Ms. Helen?
I will relay it. He actually exited the meeting trying to exit the breakout room.
Okay, well, he did appear, so I will go with that, and I'll let you know. His bench warrant will not be set aside. The current amount that's currently in place in Odyssey will remain as well.
Okay.
All right, is there
Understood, Judge.
anything further from either party, Ms. Webb, Ms. Helen?
No, Judge.
No, Your Honor, the state rests.
All right, I believe that will conclude this DV reset calendar. Please let him know, Ms. Helen, that he needs to surrender himself, all right?
Yes, Judge.
All right, you all take care. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Judge.
Judge. Have a good day.
Okay, bye-bye. Good to see
Thank you.
everyone.
Good seeing you.